Hey guys, welcome back to the Atlas Masterclass. Today we're in Sweden and we're going to make some smorgas with radish, leek and egg. So what this dish is we've got some rye bread that we're going to toast off. Then we're going to make a really nice Dijon mustard vinaigrette. Then we've got some butter that we're going to mix with some chopped chives. So we'll mix that through and make a really nice butter on the bread. We'll have some leeks and also some eggs that we're going to cook. And then we've got some radish that's going to go straight on as a salad. And we've also got the red wine vinegar, the garlic and the chopped shallot that will go through the vinaigrette. So to start cooking with this one, it's going to put the leek straight into the pan, and we're also going to add the eggs in as well. So just sort of lowering them in really nicely, and the eggs need about 7 minutes. So I find 7 minutes with the eggs will be a really nice time where they should come away from the shell, but they'll still cook up really nicely, being sure so the yolk's still slightly runny. And then the leek should take between say 7 to 10 minutes, depending on sort of how quickly you want to cook them and how far we want to take them. So we've got that in and we'll check back in a minute. So now it's been 7 minutes. I'm just going to pull our eggs out and put them into some cold water, letting them sit for a couple of minutes before I peel them. And then I'm going to give the leeks, I'm just going to have a look at them now, see how they're cooking. They might need a little bit longer. So that leek, it is getting quite soft, so I reckon that maybe needs another 2 or so minutes. You just want to judge this, you know, as long as you don't have that raw leek flavour, the dish, if you cook it a bit further or cook it a bit under, it is very, very nice as it is. But I'll give that about another 2 minutes. I'm just going to let these eggs settle for a second. So now I'm going to take these leeks off and just straight into a strainer. And just turn that down. And let's make our, and now we're just going to make our vinaigrette. So with the vinaigrette, I go straight in with some of the Dijon mustard, some shallot and the garlic, red wine vinegar, then I'm going to add the olive oil next. And that should just emulsify really nice and easily. Just mix it until it all comes together. And that's it. Super simple, but super tasty vinaigrette. Give it a little taste. A little pinch of salt. And a little pinch of sugar as well. So just out of the pantry, just grabbing some sugar. And there we are, so that's our vinaigrette. So now I'm going to make our chive butter. So I get the butter, I've just had that out at room temperature to soften, like so. I'm just going to add the chives in. And just give it a really good mix. And there we are, chive butter, pinch of salt. So now with those eggs, I just put them under water, I crack the shells and then I quickly peel the skin. So letting the water almost get between the actual egg and the shell, which will help release it from itself. And that's how you peel those eggs really, really nicely. So now my bread's toasted. So I just want to let that slightly cool down on the chopping board before I actually spread it with the butter, just so the butter doesn't melt. And in the meantime, I just chop these eggs. So just chopping them into nice even sized pieces. Perfect. And what I do with the bread now, so I get our chive butter. And you be super generous with the butter on the bread, because that's where most of the flavour of this dish comes from. That makes it super, super tasty. Then I go on top with the leeks. Then I go with some chopped radish. With the radish, you just want to sort of evenly spread it out. Love the use of radish in these dishes, something that's really, you know, it's got a great texture, really peppery little flavour, gives a little kick almost to the dish, and really balances well with some Dijon mustard. Great. And then last but not least, add the eggs on top. So when I was in Sweden, in Stockholm, I had this exact dish, and I really love, you know, these big flavours. I think it's just super, just different. It's very tasty, you know, vegetarian cooking. The idea of the leek, of course, that chive butter, you know, just so tasty. And then to finish, we'll just add in Dijon mustard, shallot and garlic vinaigrette. Give it a stir, make sure it's all nicely combined. And then just adding that on top. So plenty of flavour in this dish, and you know, a real nod to the Scandinavian flavours we've been experiencing this week at the masterclass. Something we haven't, an area of the world we have not cooked the cuisines of before. So our first little taste of Scandinavia being Sweden this week. And it certainly won't be our last. So there we are, our smorgas with egg, leek and radish.